everybody, this video is about optimal eating. I'm going to keep it very simple though. We're going to focus on fresh fruits, vegetables, salads, greens, things like this, nuts, seeds, grains, preferably grains that haven't been soaked in pesticides and aluminum. Might be hard to find, maybe some organic grains, and you're going to want to rinse those. You're going to want to soak them and you're going to want to germinate them. So when you're having grains, have them activated, have them soaked and germinated. Things like mushrooms, so fungus, tubers, we're talking about like potatoes, beetroot, things like that are fantastic. Whole foods in general. I know that if you simply went onto a whole food diet, fresh fruits, vegetables, salads, a variety of all these things, you will start to feel better, okay? But there's optimal times to be eating as well. For thousands and thousands of years, there's been different cultures that only ate at specific times for optimal health. One of these were called the Essenes. The Chinese also have very specific charts. Other cultures have specific charts about when the body is going through different processes. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that. It's called intermittent fasting. Intermittent fasting. And this is one of the latest crazes within bodybuilding, within athletics these days. People able to lose a lot of fat and maintain and even augment their muscles. So this is a really good diet for staying strong but cutting the fat. And just about any disease, cancer, heart disease, diabetes, all these major diseases are directly related to excess weight people hold. If you go to the American Cancer Society's website, Heart Foundation, diabetes, whatever, they're going to say if you lose fat, your chances of getting these diseases decreases radically. And I believe you can reverse these diseases as well. So getting onto a proper type of optimal eating for optimal times is optimal. So there's 3 8-hour periods that if we honor these 3 8-hour periods, our bodies will become so much healthier. And I would even say that, even if you didn't change your diet, if you just ate the same stuff you've been eating your whole life, but you just changed the times at which you ate those things, you would already radically improve your health. But then if you go to a more whole plant-based foods diet, along with the proper times, you're really going to experience an amazing level of energy and health and vitality. And yes, there's going to be some detox, there's going to be some cleansing, there's going to be some stuff that comes out, because your body's going to start to clean out all the years of stuff you've been putting in that maybe isn't the best. So let's get down to these 3 8-hour periods. Number 1, from 4 in the morning to noon, it's optimal for your body to be in what's called detoxification. To be in detoxification, you just drink water. Optimally, just drinking water. If you want to add some lemon, fantastic, but it's just drinking water. The things you can do to support detoxification is the 4 channels of elimination. How many? 4. Okay? We have defecation, that's going poo. So it's good when you wake up in the morning, you drink a lot of water, go for a walk, you come back. Typically, you'll have to go poo by that time because that's what walking and drinking water does. It activates that process. But if you can't or you feel backed up, you might want to do an enema and actually assist the process of detoxification through defecation. Then we have urination. If you're drinking heaps of water, you add a little bit of lemon into that, maybe some cranberry juice occasionally if you have urinary issues to get the urinary system flowing. Defecation, urination, perspiration. Every morning we should be exercising. We should be pushing ourselves. We should be sweating or sitting in a sauna or whatever we need to do to get this lymphatic system moving and cleaned out. I get in the shower, I'll take a shower and get this stuff called gua sha. You've probably seen it. It's bicarbonate of soda and alcohol, and I scrub my whole body, which opens my skin and allows my lymphatic system to pour toxins out. If you don't want to do that, you can simply do dry skin brushing. A dry skin brush all over your skin, all over your body will open up the pores as well, stimulate the lymphatic system for cleansing through the perspiration. Okay, that's perspiration. And then there's respiration, which is breathing. And I have 7 rounds of 7. I have different breathing exercises. Sit down for 4 or 5 minutes, in for 7, hold for 7, out for 7, hold for 7. That will get you balanced. But essentially, if you're exercising, if you're going for a power walk, breathe deeply through the nose, out through the mouth. You do this consciously for even 5 minutes while you're exercising, and you're going to be pushing that lymphatic system. You're going to be blowing out a lot of acid, okay, taking in a lot of oxygen and alkalizing your body. So 8 hours of detox every morning. And yes, look, I wake up early in the morning, I go spend time with clients, I do stretching, I do cardio, I do different things. I come home and then I do personal strength training with a personal trainer, do weights, body strength, all kinds of different things, and sometimes even martial arts added on top of that. And I still don't eat for a long period of time. You will be okay. Your body stores all the essential amino acids, everything that your body needs. And in fact, when you go to bed at night and wake up in the morning, your body's burned through most of its glucose stores. So your body will go into fat burning mode called ketosis. And this is where you maximize that fat loss and you augment your muscles, because then we go into feeding time, the first dibs on your body is going to be your muscular tissue and your organs, your brain, your muscular tissue, all this stuff. And it's going to maximize your actual muscle growth. So eating first time you should be eating is noon, when the sun is highest in the sky. And this is many long-lived, brilliant cultures that have done this, okay? So first meal, first time you eat something, by noon. If you want to have water, you want to have a little bit of lemon, you want to drink some teas, if you can do your best to not use a lot of sweetener, maybe just a little bit, that otherwise you'll put yourself back into the glucose mode. You want to continue to burn fat in the morning and eliminate excess proteins. Your body goes into a process called autophagy or autolysis, where it eliminates weakened proteins and replaces them. It's like rejuvenation or renovation for your organs and for your muscles and for your body. And people have gotten out of this so much that that's why, you know, all these diseases are so prevalent. So what I would recommend for the first meal, midday, is fresh fruit first. Because first of all, you smell it, it's beautiful, it tastes amazing, it's an orgasmic experience. You haven't eaten for so long, and it's just, and it's hydrating. It gets the whole digestive system lubricated, and it's fantastic. This is what I do every day. First food I have is fruit, period. And it might only be a couple pieces of fruit, or it might be a lot of fruit. Sometimes I have tons of fruit, other times I just have a few pieces and then I move on to something else. You know, and then at lunchtime, you know, you could have a sandwich, you could have a wrap, you could have a salad, you could have a soup. What I recommend is keeping it raw till dinner. So have your first meal at lunch. Focus on the fruits. Then have something a little more dense. You know, this could be Essenes bread, which is sprouted grain bread with avocado, tomato, some sprouts, maybe some tempeh or something like this. Could be a soup, whatever. But, you know, nourish yourself at that point. From noon to about 8 o'clock, our body wants to be in a situation of appropriation, taking in. So focusing all the energy on the stomach and digestion during that time is optimal. Then from 8 o'clock at night to, again, 4 in the morning, that's when our body wants to assimilate the nutrients. So if I'm still eating 9, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock at night, snacking and eating a bunch of stuff, all the energy required to digest that is taking away from me optimally receiving the assimilatory process of nutrition, okay? So don't do that to yourself. Allow yourself to receive that nutrition the way that you should. And then we need to detox from all of that, because I don't care what you're eating. Even when you're eating plant whole foods, there are things your body needs to eliminate. So 8 hours, 4 to noon, detoxification. Noon to about 6 or 7, because it's going to take a couple hours from that food to move out of your stomach into the small intestine. So having raw, preferably for lunch, and then for dinner, then you'd want to be, you know, more protein-based, complex carbohydrates, you know, lentils, sprouted grain breads, rice, avocado, big salads, you know, those sorts of things. Soups, vegetable soup, and maybe having cooked just kind of softens you out for the day, winds you down, helps you to relax, so that you can go to bed and sleep well at night. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. And really, if we can keep it as close to whole foods as possible, if you're eating meat and you're like, I'm not giving up meat no matter what, okay, great. Maybe just reduce the amount of meat and eat lean cuts of organic grass-fed cow or whatever it is. Hopefully happier chickens that haven't been filled full of antibiotics and all kinds of different things. Just reduce it as much as you can. You might find that when you really boost the level of plants that you eat and reduce the level of animal foods that you have, you're gonna feel better. For example, I used to make omelets that were like 10 eggs in this big fat omelet, and I used to love it. And then I met Chef Cynthia, and she would throw in greens and broccoli and all this type of stuff, essentially in like 1 or 2 eggs, and it would still be this massive omelet. and I'm not eating eggs anymore, but it's a process, okay? And I shouldn't say not eating anymore. For right now, I'm not. So that's what I believe you can do to get started to optimize your lifestyle. And there's another situation called 23-1. And this is something I've been exploring for the last couple of weeks and been having amazing breakthroughs with it. And it's taking intermittent fasting from noon all the way up to only eating 1 hour a day. And I start with fresh fruit, and then I go right into typically my complex carbohydrates, you know, Essenes bread, avocado, tomato, some tempeh, maybe salad, some denser foods, you know, whatever. Sometimes cooked foods, and I'm just having one meal a day, and sometimes dessert after that within 1 hour. And then I go a full 23 hours. Based on science that's been put out there, a massive amount of science supporting longevity, cyclic fasting, caloric restriction, using this type of lifestyle maximizes our lifespan. And anything that maximizes our lifespan, I believe, will make you feel optimal in the moment. So that's another level you can take it to. You can message me, private message me if you want more information about that. But at least start off with starting at noon and then not eating after about 6 or 7 o'clock. I know you guys are gonna rock. You're gonna become superhumans and feel amazing and lose all that fat that you don't want on your body. Be trim, your muscles gonna start expanding and growing. You're gonna have energy, you're gonna feel awesome. I love it. Have a great day.